what now? AI is here. All the tools are here. Copilots, Claude, GPT, Zebra AI, and so on. What does it mean? Shall we ditch our dashboards and switch over to AI? Is this the time? And I had a very interesting conversation a couple of months ago, which actually prompted me to do head-to-head dashboards in Power BI versus AI. Structured, live, no theory, hands-on demos, and just compare one versus another, see what the situation is today, where is it headed, wrap it up, learn from it, and hopefully, this will give you some idea what you can do today and, what you should be doing today in order to be future ready. So what we did is we have scraped financial data of 100 SME companies, publicly available data, loaded everything into Power BI, modeled, so on and so on, create lots of dashboards and reports, and then recreated everything with Zebra AI.
The important thing here is for this to work, right? So that financial data to work, we needed to basically map the accounts, right? So this is basically a standard mapping scenario used for Zebra BI tables, but it's good to do like a proper account mapping for any kind of financial report you will be doing. Now, I'll point to the report type column, which is typically not used in the account mapping, but basically this column allows us to then switch between income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow within the same visualizations and the same pages, and it gives us the added flexibility. And the nice things about Zebra BI is if I add, my comparison, I get, to the insights as well. I can get, absolute and relative variances here. I can play around with the look and feel I want to see. So I can, show the waterfall, side by side for previous year and actuals. I can expand and collapse. And you said, okay, can I add, additional things that is not in my P&L lines, right? So if I wanted to do EBITDA or net income percent, I can do that. In Zebra BI, basically, if I add, a formula, I can go to net income percent and just divide net income by sales. Okay, mark it as percent. Let's, highlight it like this, and we can add that information on top. So here it is.
All right, I got all the rows. So everything that Mark presented, our companies here from the different industries, country dates, and so on and so on, all the accounts, costs of goods sold, and so on, short financials. Let's just click analyze, let AI handle this. So it's trying to extract the meaning of the data. So this data set is from the finance domain, specifically focusing on financial statements of various companies and blah, blah, blah. It's so fast, I can't even read it. Interesting. All right, we've got something. We've got income statements for the year 2025. Net income is selected. Maybe this one, let me just throw it out for now. So you see, I've got the visuals. I've got some filters here already selected by default, as chosen by AI. But since we have 100 companies, let me also add the company filter. So Mark, you were showing Colgate-Palmolive, am I right? Here we go.
Yes, correct.
Let's update the text as well, because I have a few more things actually here. I also have some text interpretation. Sales revenue, costs are subtracted here, gross revenue. You've mentioned that there are multiple accounts here, so I can actually expand the costs or collapse this. And wow, the gross income and so on and so on. Let AI actually calculate what would be interesting. Let's calculate EBITDA margin, right? So I don't have the margins in my data set. I only have the P&L, the absolute numbers. So let's instruct AI to calculate EBITDA percent and compare Colgate-Palmolive to other companies in its industry. Let's see if it can handle that. So now I'm actually going beyond the first report. AI is thinking. By the way, we are using Opus, Anthropic Opus model for this, and then pair this with our own tools and other agents like variance analysis tools and then other statistical analysis to make sure that the results are accurate. Of course, LLMs alone are not enough for serious business reporting because of hallucinations and so on. So that's why we are using Zebra AI here. And voila, Mark.
Wow,
so
it looks like you got more than you've asked for. So wow, okay.
So
that's pretty impressive.
Looks okay to me. So it's EBITDA percent. It actually calculated EBITDA percent. I can check the thought process here. So I'll calculate the EBITDA. So how is AI actually thinking? Decided it will calculate the income. It found that I'm interested in the industry, Colgate-Palmolive's industry. So it pulled the right data here, the industry, FMCG, companies in the data set and everything. So I can actually check everything. Okay. EBITDA percent data and so on, and then created the results, right? So voila, I've got a report. Johnson & Johnson is the first one by the margin, EBITDA margin. Here's the Colgate-Palmolive. So let me highlight this.
Okay, so let me stop you right there, because what just happened is, okay, so we have the data set, right? But AI didn't just create a report, right? So it did the second step, right? Creating the report, but now it's also providing you insights just out of the box, right? Insights, additional insights. You can prompt it. It's allowing you to, filter, drill, talk to the data. It just generated a whole new set of KPIs and a comparison against, competitors. This is, beyond just what we did in Power BI.
So let's see if Zebra AI can generate the trends. So show me trends over the years for, I think you've shown the revenue. I think it was gross profit, right?
Yeah.
Gross profit, EBIT. All right. And you had versus previous year as well.
Yep.
All right. Excellent. Oh, for all 100 companies, kaboom. Initial. Aha, okay, it understood. I wanted to do it for the initial one for Colgate-Palmolive. That's what you said. And now it started to think, all right, but wait, let me think about this. It was smarter than me. And so it picked Colgate-Palmolive, which was the first one, the initial one that I was actually interested in. That was smart. This is all live, guys. This is not scripted. This is not a marketing video.
We have to see the real deal, right? if we don't stress test it, what's the point of it, right? This is something that a business user can do, like with just regular prompting. You didn't have to
I forgot
reinvent the build.
After a year of working with AI, I forgot my DAX. I forgot my Power Query M. I would need to probably Google a lot again, like I did maybe 10 years ago for Power BI. I've been in BI for 25 years, and it was always the same promise. Self-service BI. You'll just put tools in the hands of users, and it never really worked. The only tool that is actually like a self-service tool is Excel, to be completely honest, still today. But AI, I think is finally the technology that unlocks this. Then of course you can get to like 2 minutes or 7 seconds to create a working report, as we've seen, and 90% you'll get there really fast, like blazingly fast, and then maybe last 10% still manual, adjust certain things, move things around a little bit. So for creating reports, already AI is up there, I would say. The understanding insights, yeah, here's already a huge difference in the approach. So with AI, you just talk to data, you just ask it to create stuff for you, calculate measures and so on. Whereas with traditional BI approach, like in PowerBI, you are limited with a fixed structure. You need to prepare everything. You have a fixed structure. You need to add all the things in as a designer, and then of course you need to publish it and so on. And here on the right side with AI, end users are doing this themselves as business users. Right, and with ad hoc analysis, I think here clearly AI wins. Right, you can just it's fast, flexible, exploratory. I think this is for the first time, at least in my professional career, we are getting to the true self-service analytics. Of course, provided that you have the right data underlying your AI. So this would be my wrap up. Let me know in the chat if you agree with that. And as a result, what we see also with our clients, they are not replacing, their Power BI reporting with AI. That was so far we had no discussions like that. Everyone wants to add AI to their existing reporting, but certain parts of the reporting, especially the self-service part, exploratory, enabling the business users and so on, this is clearly shifting to AI. But the governed reports that are same and deterministic every time should be there. It's still cheaper to have it. You don't burn tokens, you've done them. They're working, they're in production for thousands of users. It's secure and all of that. So I would invite everyone, just try also Zebra AI version. It's free to start with. So yeah. And let us know how it works for you. Give us your feedback. Connect to us on LinkedIn, so you can find me or Mark on LinkedIn and Zebra BI on LinkedIn, because we are already preparing the next webinar, and we'll go deeper into commentary and storytelling and so on, because this is also a popular topic. So that's next. So hopefully see everyone at our next webinar, early July.
Yes. And until then, thank you, Andrej, for being my co-host. Thank you, everyone, for joining. And see you in the next one. Thanks, everyone.